News just coming in. 3 men have been arrested in Rampur molestation case. Now, the total number of arrests made in this case has gone up to 4. Just to remind the viewers, the shameful video, which was viral, shows 2 girls being molested by 12 to 14 men in Uttar Pradesh's Rampur district. The victims can be seen pleading to the monsters to let them go. Amir joins us on the phone line with the latest on this. Amir, another person has been arrested. What is the next course of action for the police from here?
Well, yes, a total of 4 accused have been arrested out of the 14 which have been named in the FIR. One of the accused, who's a major, who was an adult, was picked up yesterday. He was then formally arrested, produced before the court and sent to jail yesterday. While last night, in early morning, 3 more of the accused have been picked up by the police and they've been formally arrested. So far, the police haven't actually revealed as to whether all of these accused who've been arrested, how many accused are actually minors and which ones are the adults. The police says that their ages will actually be ascertained once they are produced before the court. But so far, the police's focus remains on arresting each of the accused who were found there, molesting those 2 girls out there in the open in Rampur. So the police's focus remains on arresting the rest of the 10 accused which are on the run. Yes, although we are told through our police sources locally that police is facing difficulty in raiding the houses of the accused and arresting them because many from among these were teenagers, were actually minors, and the police is also perhaps facing resistance on the ground level as regards raiding their houses and arresting these accused is concerned. But obviously the police is under a lot of pressure and has also earned a lot of flack over the last 2 days, ever since this molestation video has become viral on the social media. People have been questioning the role of the police as to how prompt was the police, how prompt were the anti-Romeo squads of the police around the time this incident happened. It was captured on camera and had become actually viral on the social media and reached so many people. But the police took its own sweet time to act. Although a little bit of a saving grace for the police is the fact that it went ahead and took cognizance of the case and registered an FIR under Section 354A and B suo moto. It did not wait for a formal complaint to be lodged from the side of the victims or from their family before it finally swung into action. And so far, they've arrested 4 of the 14 accused. So, a lot of pressure on the police, as I said earlier, but it seems that it will take some more time before the police lays its hands on the rest of the 10 accused which are on the run.
Amir, now there's a video which clearly shows 12 to 14 men molesting the victims. An FIR has been lodged. Do you think the police has actually formed smaller teams to nab those who are on the run? And as you said that the police is actually facing resistance from the people when they are going and doing house-to-house searches. But can't the police be more forceful in this case in doing those kind of searches?
Well, the topmost officials from within the Home Department, the police are insisting that the police is on its job round the clock. In fact, they formed a number of teams to raid all such houses where the accused can actually be found. And also, the police is being very prompt and the situation on the ground is being monitored by higher officials here in the Home Department on an hourly basis. But so far, it seems that police only has a partial success in terms of nabbing the accused because 10 out of 14 accused are still on the run. So a lot of pressure, as I said earlier, on the police to perform, and questions also being raised on the constitution of anti-Romeo squads and the kind of work that they've been doing over the last 2.5 months. Because initially, when BJP government came to power in UP, a lot of discussion went on around the formation of anti-Romeo squads and the kind of work that they could do and the way they could bring down instances of rapes, molestation and sexual crimes against women and girls. But so far it seemed that it was only some kind of a lip service initially, wherein, it almost served like a photo op for the police station level officials. even sometimes, district SSPs who were seen leading all such anti-Romeo squads, and many of them were actually found troubling, people into relationships, into public places and parks. Sometimes even brothers and sisters and husbands and wives out in public places. So all such instances were brought to light to higher functionaries within the police department, the government. But that all stopped within 15 to 20 days of the government coming to power in UP. But after that, it was this spate of crime against women, cases of molestation and rapes and gang rapes, which have come to the fore. And so far, the police has been able to do very little about all such cases. So, the focus remains on how the police gets a grip on the law and order situation and can actually nab all such culprits and accused once the cases are brought to the notice of the police. But so far, it seems that police still needs to spruce up its act and actually get cracking on the law and order situation here in the state.
Amit, stay with us on the phone line. Let's listen into what the police has to say on this issue now.
चारों मुख्य आरोपी जो हैं घटना में जो संलिप्त हैं डायरेक्टली, वो चारों इसमें गिरफ्तारी हो गई।
रात पुलिस ने कितने आरोपियों को गिरफ्तार किया?
ये रात पुलिस ने 3 आरोपियों को गिरफ्तार किया है। अलग अलग जगहों पर पुलिस टीम गई हुई थी, आसपास के जिलों में भी हम तलाश कर रहे थे, तो उसी कार्रवाई में ये 3 अभियुक्त और गिरफ्तार हुए।
बाकी 2 आरोपी
उनके लिए अभी और तलाशी चल रही है। हमारी 4 टीमें निकली हुई है अभी इसी काम में, सर्विलेंस की मदद दी जा रही है और आगे जल्दी हमें सफलता मिलने की उम्मीद है।
Amir, as you were talking before about the anti-Romeo squads, now the Yogi Adityanath government had come to power in March and they had a 3/4 majority, and they were talking about anti-incumbency. They were promising a turnaround in the state on the law and order situation. But it seems like those promises haven't been fulfilled. What is the government stand on these crimes? And one is actually wondering, where are those anti-Romeo squads, which were one of the initial initiatives of the Yogi Adityanath government?
Well, the government over the last several weeks, ever since instances of lawlessness have been repeatedly highlighted into the media and elsewhere, the government stand is clear. They say that the law and order situation in the state was in shambles. We've got all of it from the last SP government, and we need to work on it, and it will take some time before we can actually get a grip on the situation. In fact, just a few days back, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also said that the law and order situation cannot be changed, cannot be turned around in a jiffy, and we at least need a year's time to set right what has gone wrong for the last so many years. So that's the stand of the government. But as far as such instances of lawlessness is concerned, perhaps people are not ready to wait for as long as a year to see that the situation improves or the police gets its act together. So therefore, these are instances which directly relate to the people, which can directly affect all such people who move out into public places. And especially crime against women is something that raises a lot of outrage among people, and it instills a sense of insecurity among people. So if people of the state feel insecure, venturing out of their homes, there's nothing else that can provide them a sense of security. So clearly, this should be the topmost priority of the government and the police. And so far, it seems that the government does understand its responsibilities, but the blame is again laid on the kind of culture that has developed over the last so many years in terms of governance. And perhaps that is why neither the police is swift to act in all such cases which are brought to its notice. And so far, the culture has also remained more or less the same. So there's increasing need being felt by highest officials within the government and the Home Department that there needs to be a change in work culture as far as policing is concerned. And also, officials on the district level need to be taken to task if instances of lawlessness are reported from their area. So, this is something on which the government, all the agencies of the government, as well as the police department are actually working on. So perhaps the government thinks that it needs some more time before it can actually get a good grip on the law and order situation, and also, the change that it think it warrants in terms of culture and working of the police on the ground level.
That the government is looking at a year's time to set right what was wrong by the previous SP government. But don't you think that a year's time, won't you think it will be too late? A year's time will have many more instances. Another thing to note here is that the police is arriving on the spot. The police is doing the investigation and arresting people after such incidents have taken place. Don't you think that right now the government should actually be looking at preventing these incidents?
Well, yes, absolutely. These all have become a topic of discussion among the general public as such. Apart from even the government circles, but the fact is that government does feel that it will take some time before they can actually change the work culture of the police. Even in this incident reported from Rampur. The police, it was said, reached much later after the crime was committed, after the video went viral. Although ideally, in such situations, the police's, the police's, alertness should be such that all such incidents of crime against women and molestation should be averted and avoided in time if there is regular policing in all such areas. So presence of police has to improve. The police's turnaround time needs to improve. And also in terms of investigation, the police needs to be, much more quicker in terms of nailing the accused, in terms of nabbing them and producing them before the court. So, all such culture needs to be spruced up. And, perhaps the higher functionaries within the government, the officials within the Home Department, the Police Department also need to get their act together so that they see to it that police is prompt in reacting to such cases. In fact, most of such cases can actually be averted with the police being vigilant enough and, the presence of police on the ground should be so that should instill a sense of fear amongst the people who want to go against the law, who want to break the law, or such criminal and antisocial elements.
Amir,
the presence of police itself is such a deterrent that, perhaps it will never come to such heinous acts.
Amir, thank you. Thank you for joining us with the latest on that. Lawlessness in the state of Uttar Pradesh at a new high. Rampur, Muzaffarnagar, Jewar, all the cases shocking the nation.